All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises. Call HALAL, YAHAWAH, SHAM, Yahushai. All right, this is Rayabya on God, Zealots of Israel camp. And I wanted to touch on this news and prophecy. So, UN warns of mass starvation. Biblical locust plague puts millions on brink of famine. So, earlier, like as early as a month ago, they were reporting about these locusts that was tearing up things, tearing up crops and vegetation down there, over there in Iran or Iraq, or India, Iraq, Egypt. So yeah, these guys have spread at a large rate, at a massive rate. So, you know, I just saw this on W7's channel. So with that said, let's go ahead and put this, go ahead and speak on this real quick.
This is W7. We have a very serious situation unfolding here. They're calling this now a biblical scale of locusts that are basically devouring everything. They can do so. They can cover a whole area, a whole farmland, and devour everything within 30 seconds.
Damn.
They can travel up to 150 kilometers a day. And what is different now about what we've seen in the past is that these swarms that were covering a large portion of the globe from Africa over to India, instead of dying out like they were saying, a fourth generation has spawned out of this. And they're saying that these pockets are up to 8,000 times larger than what we witnessed earlier this year. Some of these swarms are the size of major cities.
God damn.
And because people are not affected in the United States, they're not seeing what's happening, they're oblivious to what's coming. The UN now...
And let me stop right there before I play the rest of this video. A lot of these ignorant American populists that's over here in America and in the Western Hemisphere in general, but in particular in America, in Great Babylon, right? Virgin Daughter of Babylon, right? Who are to be destroyed. This, you know, this is going to go through a lot of people's heads because of everything that's going on. Also, too, even then, like you seeing how like people over here are still hoping that this damn country's gonna get back on its feet and all this other stuff, even though the climate and the forecast of where this country is going is devastation. Like this man put it so elegantly. Yes. People are very ignorant over here, and they think because it's not happening as soon as they think it is, with this, you know, with the lack of food and all this other stuff. Oh, it's going to come, and it's going to come at a rapid rate, right? And it's going to come, and it's going to be it's going to be when they least expect it, and that's when it's going to be real hell up out here. So I'm gonna stop that part, and let's go ahead. So let's go ahead and go to 1 Thessalonians 5. Yeah. Yep, let's go right here. Lock you. Boom. Light this up. All right, slide. So yeah, 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. But and I'm gonna start at the first verse. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord, right, which is a terrible, great day in wrath, so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Right. So the men of the Lord, all right, the brothers and sisters that are in this truth, the men of the Lord in particular, like myself, who are set up to be watchmen and apostles, prophets, and priests, right? We are not caught off guard because we're seeing like the Lord is giving you a spoiler. The Lord is spoiling this for you to let you know to get ready and prepare physically, mentally, and spiritually. And that's something that brothers and sisters need to be praying to the Most High every day for, is be prepared for that day and not come upon you. Because when this famine hit, it's gonna hit hard, and like it says, the UN, the United Nations, is warning that mass starvation is coming because of these creatures. And this is the executive order that the Most High Yahawah has set forth upon the earth to lay upon his wrath, fury, and judgment, man. All right. So let's continue on.
Warning that mass starvation is coming. These are their words. We're being told that it's going to begin by the end of this calendar year.
So he said it's going to end it's going to begin at the end of this calendar year. So 2020, like the Elder Tahar for Great Millstone has put it, this is the year of prophecy. And every prophecy that you think hasn't taken place yet, or is on the verge to, bro, it is on the beginning stages right now, man. So let's go ahead and go through this.
This is what is happening in all these other countries right now. They've been decimated, their crops completely wiped out. And as you can see here, they say it's important to remember that they are destroying farm after farm, month after month. There's no end in sight, and that this new fourth generation has spawned pockets 8,000 times larger. And when you have the UN stepping up making these comments, the same UN that they're trying to pull into the United States right now, it seems the American people do not see what's coming. It says right here, sadly, most Americans don't even see what's happening because of everything going on in the news and that TV that controls their attention in their living room. That's all they're affixed on. So what's crazy is they want to say, oh, thankfully here in the United States, we're not facing starvation yet. Well, yeah. When the rest of the globe is starving and the food's only coming from one spot, it's going to get thinned out. It doesn't matter how you cut it. When other countries go into starvation mode, they're going to start pulling on resources from other places, and this is going to pull on supplies from other places. And as we've seen China taking the meat out of this country en masse and even shutting down other processing plants, all of this is part of a bigger plan. One that I've been warning about and we've been discussing, and I'm going to continue to break down in the...
And you know what that plan is to basically set up a one world government, to set up the United Nations, all right, set up this damn one world universalism, all right, country. That's their whole agenda and plan. And with this going on, like, this is going to cause people to lose their minds and have no area and direction to go to. And it's like there's going to be one source of food that's going to be coming in, and people's going to bug out and lose their mind. All right. Now, let's go ahead and go to this right here. All right, because this happened during the time of Egypt, and this happened this is what's going to happen to the modern day Babylon. Let me go to Romans 8. Where is that scripture at? 15 and 4. So Romans 18 and 15, Romans 15 and 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Yeah, so we know that this happened before, but it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. It's happened before. It's happening again right now. And it's going to happen on a much larger scale than what happened through Egypt. All right. So with that being said, all right, let me go ahead and go to Let me go ahead and go to Exodus real quick. Go ahead and go to Exodus because the same thing happened in Exodus, all right? In the book of Exodus, all right? Let's go ahead and go to Exodus, the 10th chapter. And this is during the time of the Egyptian captivity that then 12 tribes were in, all right? So Exodus chapter 10, let's go. Go ahead and go there. All right. Let's go ahead and go to verse 13. All right, because this is the vengeance of the Lord. This is one of the judgments that's going to be taking place on the whole world, and in particular, modern day Egypt, which is America. All right. Exodus 10 and 13. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and the Lord brought an east wind upon the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. And the locusts went up and the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt, rested in all the coasts of Egypt. Very grievous were they, right? They're very grievous. These creatures are made for one thing, that's killing crops, man. It's a crop killing, vegetation killing machine right here. And they started off as grasshoppers, but when you start seeing grasshoppers congregate and jumping around, they begin to mutate into locusts. Natural mutation takes place as locusts. All right. A once harmless creature that eats up grass, jumps around, they start flying. They grow wings and they start killing up all crops, all vegetation. So they're very grievous. All right. Very grievous were they before them. There were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such. For they covered the face of the whole earth. So guess what? They covered the face of the whole earth before, during our time, our captivity in Egypt. They covered the face of the whole earth before. Guess what? Things that were written for our foretimers were written for our learning. Why? Because things come back. These same judgments come back, and it's coming back even harder this time. Well, they covered the face of the whole earth so that the land was darkened, and they did eat every herb of the land and all the fruits of the trees which the hail had left, and there remained not any tree, any green thing in the trees or in the herbs of the field through all the land of Egypt. All right. So this happened before, and it's going to happen again. All right. Gonna eat up everything in sight and cause a mass. It's going to cause a mass hysteria, because people are going to be hungry and people are going to be wanting damn food, natural herbs and fruits and vegetables and all the other stuff that you grow, and they're not going to be able to do so. And that just sets up perfectly for the UN and the United Nations and the global elitists, all right, to take control of the populace, all right? And that's going to help usher in that microchip too, man, all right? So, and and also too, I just want to touch on the fact that he said is covering, they're as big as large cities. Covering large masses of areas, right? Well, that happened before. So let me go. Let me go to Yahawah and his words and what his teachings were. Let's go to Matthew, the book of Matthew. All right, 24. Oh, Slakia. Let's go to Matthew real quick. And all these things are happening right now in this very verse. Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Verse 8. All of these are the beginnings of sorrow, but the main thing, famines. And one of the biggest proponents of famine is large plagues of locusts. All right. Now, let's go ahead and go to Sirach, the 39. So the book of Sirach 39, verse 28, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And guess what? That's dealing with these locusts. These locusts are going to be one of the instruments that the Lord used for his wrath and judgment. They're going to pour out their fear by tearing up all the crops. All right. And that's in verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and famine and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. And guess what? These creatures are made for vengeance, man. These people over here have no clue what's about to hit this damn place, man. All right. Shit, and the whole rest of the world as well. Okay. So with that said, I want to say call halal. Yahawah Simeon Shine. This is Rayabya God, Zealots of Israel camp. Much love to you, brothers and sisters in this truth, and priests, prophets, and elders, and apostles that are sincerely doing this work, truthfully and sincerely for Yahawah, YAHAWASH. With that said, Shalom.